Welcome to the program. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And we have a great audience here with us and an opportunity to connect. We're going to talk a little bit about the difference between being a psychic and a medium first, but before we get started, we have a wonderful volunteer here who has decided to share a little bit about a personal connection. But before she can get started, of course, the other side has something that they want to say. I thought we were going to hear from you first, but I do feel a lady around you, and I'd like to honor her presence. Mother has passed for you?
Not my mom.
I want to honor her. She's coming through like a mother figure. And I do feel her to be very much similar to you. She keeps on talking about how her facial features and how her physicality is similar to you. Do you know who I'm speaking of? There's a female coming through. Yes or no?
Not sure.
Okay, I want to honor her presence. I feel like she's got two other spirits with her, but her energy is very strong. She's a matriarch. She's a strong lady. What she says goes. And even before we were getting ready to do anything, she was making me jump out of my skin. She's like, now, you got to talk now. And I'm like, I can't talk now. You got to talk now. You got to talk now. So there's a lady that's past connected to you that's, let's say, to be kind to her, she's a little on the bossy side, right? Okay, so you know who I'm talking about.
I think I do.
Okay, well, I want to honor her because she's the first one I'm feeling present. Now, father is passed for you?
My father-in-law, and this might be my mother-in-law.
Okay, well, that makes sense. If it's your father, because father I would feel the same as father-in-law, and, you know, God bless her, but if your mother-in-law was bossy, it makes sense that she'd have her husband tailing behind her. So I want to honor that energy. Now, it's interesting how when I talk to you, she wants me to be more strong. I'm gentle, and she's pushing me and pushing me. So I feel like when she was here, she was pushing people around her to be strong all the time. It's like people, if they showed a sign of weakness, or if they weren't having a, you know, keeping their chin up high, she would point them out and talk to them and say, look, come on, shape up, right? That was kind of her energy. Because, I mean, purposefully, I'm trying to get some energy going, and she's going, stronger, be stronger, be strong. I'm like, calm down. So also, you know, and it's interesting when spirits make me feel things before I'm hearing them or seeing them, because this is all feeling, it's very interesting to me that her feelings and how she's coming through are stronger than any words she can say. So when she's in a room, you would feel that way too. Sit up straight, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So know that she's making me feel all this. Behind all of this is driven a strong sense of her family history, what's important to her. This is how she's, now I'm hearing her, this is how my mother did it, this is how my grandmother did it, so this is how we're going to do it. So she's got a strong sense of the ladies that come before her. Is that correct? Okay, so I want to honor that energy. Even though this is your mother-in-law, I find it interesting that she wants to see eye to eye to you in a very equal way. Because when spirits tell me or make me see, we look the same, that either means we see eye to eye or we look the same. And you're not related. This is your mother-in-law. But do you understand why she's doing this? Yeah. She sees you eye to eye. No, I don't want to say that you're a bossy lady. I want to say that what she's coming through with is this incredible respect as far as how you've grown into being the matriarch of your family. That's how you feel. Is that correct?
Try.
Well, that's what she's saying. You're succeeding. So sometimes spirit can come through to give you that push to say, you got to believe in yourself more. Now, just a few moments earlier, she was saying, I pushed people to feel stronger, right? Yes. Okay. Now, do you understand why she's saying, tell her she is a strong matriarch? So your mother-in-law, even though I'm a little intimidated by her, I won't lie, she is very much in step with not only defending the history of her family, but defending the daughter-in-law that she loves very much. So you were more like a daughter to her in many ways, correct? Do you understand why I felt her to be mother? Okay. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get you upset. But I do feel like her illness was something that she felt peace about. She's making me hear that. She's very good at giving people lectures about how she feels, correct? Right? And here's some tissues here for you, sweetheart. And I think sometimes when we get emotional when we're red, it's because we start feeling them. So I want you to know that when spirit comes through, sometimes it isn't the loss we're crying about, it's, oh my gosh, I feel them. And you have to pay attention to that. If you're at home and you're doing your work and you're, scrubbing the dishes and vacuuming, and all of a sudden you get this, oh, I miss you. It isn't always, I miss you because I'm grieving. It's you put yourself in a daydream state and you're feeling them like a medium does, but then it automatically goes to your head, oh, you're dead. So you start crying. You have to pay attention to those little wafts of energy around you, because that's how they come through for a medium. They're going to come through stronger for you too. So know that I feel like you're feeling your mother-in-law around you. And the fact that we don't know each other, and the fact that she's saying, she's like a daughter to me, she's like a daughter to me, is something that we hold on to. When we cross over, those connections, whether it's blood or not, is what makes us say, God, I had that. And that's important to me. So when we cross, we still have an eye out for the people that we love. We still stay connected, and your mother is definitely doing that. But the next order of business I'm hearing from her, the next order of business, is that she needs to know that even though I was sick for a while, she had an illness for a while, correct?
Yes.
That I passed peacefully.
That's good to know.
She wants you to know that. Now, when they say that, they know what you're thinking. Spirit knows your thoughts. They know what you're thinking. Your mother-in-law knows. Gee, she had it so tough. She passed so incredibly uncomfortable. Those are your thoughts. Is that correct?
Yeah.
She's telling me. Tell her she's wrong, because she likes to tell people she's wrong. People are wrong. Oh, she's making me laugh. I'm sorry. I like to tell people they're wrong. She's wrong. That's what I'm hearing. But I want to honor the message, which is I know she feels that I wasn't peaceful, but she needs to know I was, even though I had a long illness. The last day that I was breathing slowly, she's telling me, and taking the breath in slowly, it was a peaceful way to pass for me. It's like she went to sleep. Does that make sense to you? Okay, so I want to honor that message so that you know it. Now, your father-in-law is a very funny man, because he stands in the corner and kind of says, is she done talking yet? Is it my turn yet? Can I talk yet? Is it my turn? Is it my turn? So he actually respects her strength. Your father-in-law, when he was here, he had a respect of how strong his wife was. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Now, he was strong in his own right. I feel that. But he had a different way that he ruled. He was almost, you know that expression, a bull in a china shop? You know what I mean by that? He has that energy. He almost feels too big for the room. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
And it's almost like, be careful where you sit, be careful what you do. And it's like he kind of tears through things. But when it comes to the emotions, he's the opposite. So he's very misleading to me, because I feel his personality to say, I respect my wife. If she needs to say something, I better step away and let her talk. But when it comes to taking care of things in the physical world, everyone get out of my way, because I've got things I have to get done. Yeah. That's how he was focused, right? So sometimes if you think of a bull in a china shop, a bull doesn't recognize what it's stepping on.
Yeah.
And that was him. Mm-hmm. Okay? So that's a good analogy for how he's making me feel. I feel like he had heart issues connected to him. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. But he also this is a man that would like to take space away from his family and go, I'm going for a walk. Right? Okay. I need to be, I'm going for a walk. So he'd go for a walk, and it's like his personality changes. So it's either he's showing me that I love to be alone and I love the outdoors. Does that make sense to you?
Totally.
So what he's showing me. But I do that for myself, but they need to understand it isn't because I don't love them and don't want to be with them. I need that space. Does that make sense to you? Now he's showing me a beautiful area. It has like this glacial appeal. I don't know if there's glaciers around him or if there's ice and snow, and then sometimes in the springtime it's melty with some beautiful lake. I mean, the seasons seem extreme to me. I mean, I'm in New England, they're extreme to begin with. But it's got, is he from another country? Is there an aspect about him?
Well, his parents are.
Okay, so he's bringing himself there. Like, I'm walking with my parents, or I'm in this area because of my parents. Now, when they show me that, I have to tell you, this has a lot to do with when I'm, imagine this, okay? Because this is what they show me. Why is it that I'm here in this country, but I like nature? Right? Well, there's spiritual DNA and there's physical DNA. Physical DNA is like, I've got my grandfather's eyes, but I have on my dad's side, but I've got my mother's cheekbones, okay? Spiritual DNA is there are things that I'm drawn to and I don't know why. He now says, I'm drawn to the outdoors. I know why I had to always go for a walk, because I'm now in this beautiful place that I don't recognize, but I recognize it's where my parents used to go. So what would be really interesting, so you understand spiritual DNA? I feel like he did not understand when he was here. He has peace about it now because of this. He did not understand why here he was in the rat race of the dog-eat-dog world, but yet he had to go out and enjoy nature. It didn't fit sometimes. Like, what are you doing that for? That's not your nature. I don't know, I just need to do it. See if you can validate that. But what's even more interesting is if you can validate, because sometimes spirit will come through and talk about things that we don't know about, and then when we check on them and it's real, it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that, so that has to be true. The other side is real, because they're showing me things that I didn't even know. He is showing me that there is a gorgeous place where his parents used to live, that maybe New England has its extremes, but this place has its extremes. There are glaciers and ice, and then there's beautiful snow and beautiful water and lakes and sunshine. And it's like pristine. It's like untouched. And I feel like he's there with his parents saying, it's okay, I'm here, I'm connected, we're good. Now the other person that I feel is a sister figure. So is there a female your age group past connected to you that could be like sister connected? She had cancer connection to her. I'm actually smelling the cancer. And I'm hearing a name like Louisa, Louise, Linda, la 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 la, Ella la la la, connected to her.
I'm not sure.
Just remember that there's a lady connected coming through. Sometimes it's not as familiar related as you think. Like I said, sister, I think it's to show me the age group. What I'm getting is an L sounding name. She had cancer. And I feel like her passing to me feels like it taught. She's thanking everyone, like, thank you for remembering me, and thank you for taking on my life as a lesson to help you. So there's been an impact, and I feel like she just wants to come through and say thank you. This could be a friend, this could be someone connected to a friend. I just want you to remember, and if you validate it, let me know. And I feel like with her is a slightly younger male. So I've got like 2 older folks here, which are your in-laws. Then I have a woman that's close to your age, and then I have a male that's slightly younger to her there. I don't feel like they're connected. So I have to honor that there's a younger male connected to you that's passed. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to honor him. He's the quietest of them all. He had a very quiet nature. Is that correct? So I want to honor his quiet nature. I feel like the reason why he's not talking much is because he has a presence with you. I'm with you. Don't worry, I'm with you. He says, recently you've been, this is personal, you don't have to answer this because this will be aired. But he says, recently you've been pulling out the religious items and you feel closer to them. So you've been gravitating closer to a religion or a spirituality, is this true? Okay, he sees this. So and I feel energy is energy, love is love, Buddha, God, guardian angels, whatever your belief system is, there's a loving God presence in the universe. He doesn't really specify which one that is. He just says, I know she's connected to that. And when she does that, that raises his vibration. So you must pray about him, or you feel connected about him. Is this correct? Okay, so this is a very personal thing that he's bringing through. And I want you to know that he knows you're doing this. And sometimes what Spirit will do is they will bring us to that. So please know that he's almost pushing you going, sometimes I make her do that. Sometimes I make her do that. Sometimes I make her do that. So his personality may be quiet, but sometimes when he wanted something, he would chide you into it. Come on, go do it, go do it, go do it. So there's a slightly funny but adorable push that he would give people when he was here. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. So just know that he's with you in the time that we're together. So I hope this helps you. I
Thank
hope
you,
it
that's-
gives you a connection. There were a lot of people that came through in a short period of time. But if you wouldn't mind, I would love it if you can share with our audience the experience you had. Because the reason why I love it when you are open enough to share your experiences, we have to remember that mediums are not the end all when it comes to communication. Each and every one of you in this audience and at home has the ability to connect your own loved ones. And when someone who's grieving that isn't a medium can say, hey, I had an experience, I hope that makes you feel closer to your loved ones so that you know you can see, hear, feel, and taste and smell things from the other side too. That's what I'm hopeful. So I don't know what you're going to share, but if you wouldn't mind, it would be an honor for us.
What happened to me is talking about the religion part of it. I do feel that sometimes he's so busy, don't have time to pray enough. So when I was at the hospital, I wanted to go to the chapel. I'm sorry, it's just kind of like...
That's okay. No, that's okay. I understand. It's okay. Keep hearing. Good.
I decided to pray in the chapel, and like as soon as I closed my eyes, I felt all these spirits pushing on me. It's almost like one pushing the other one out of the way, grasping.
Isn't that what that young male said? Pushing you. I'm pushing you. Yeah.
And it just felt really scary.
Okay, felt scary. Okay, so that's not the other side, so we'll talk about that.
So I started praying more, and I kept saying the same prayer over and over again. And as I was praying, it's almost like one by one, they started kind of taking the pressure off.
Oh, okay.
So
that
I
is the
felt
other
like
side.
I felt better that way.
Okay.
And I said, okay, I gotta keep praying because it seems like a lot of them needed a prayer.
Okay.
I needed someone to say something nice about them.
Okay.
And then somebody came into the room, and I just opened my eyes, and all of a sudden I just kind of felt like they gave me space. So I finished up and I left.
Okay.
And so I shared that with my husband, and he was just kind of like, well, that's different. That's kind of unusual. So when we went to a smaller chapel here in town,
Okay.
and I just went there. We had some time, so I just went and I prayed. That was the first time I was in the chapel, and I closed my eyes. All of a sudden, I felt the same kind of situation, almost, but in a different feel. That everybody was there. It's almost like the older people come, they want to just pat you on the shoulder and just want to say hi or something like that. There were like all these nice feelings, like everybody was just around me. So I started praying, and it's almost like they were like peaceful and just kind of enjoying the company, and it was a very different feeling. It's like it wasn't I don't want to say like I was really scared, but I felt like scared the first time around, because it was just like they were like pushing at me.
Right.
And here it was just like they were there.
Okay.
They're just and so I said prayers, and again I was interrupted, and so I ended and I left. But I was just the first time that I really acknowledged that those feelings, because I kind of feel like when I go to a church or something like that, and I can pray, close my eyes, and just kind of get into the prayer. Sometimes, I feel like I can connect, like I feel like somebody's listening to me.
Sure.
And sometimes when there's so many distractions, you
don't do that.
Don't do that.
So let me explain what happened. First off, I find it interesting. We just met.
Yeah.
We haven't spoken.
No.
Don't you find it interesting that the other side spoke about prayer before she shared her story? The other side spoke about being pushed, or I'm pushing you towards that, and then that's exactly what you felt. So they were validating what you were feeling. But what he said was, don't worry, I'm always here. So sometimes when we feel scared when we're connecting, it's not the other side making us scared. It's our fear that we have, like Linda Blair turning her head around, spitting out pea soup, or, I see dead people, the scary stuff that we sometimes see in Hollywood. That's not what the other side is. So what you were getting was confirmation 2 times that they're there. The first thing that you were feeling was the fear of, I can't believe I'm connecting. But somehow you attach that to spirit the first time. Spirit never comes through with negativity. They come through with love and connection. So I want to thank you so much for sharing that. And I really appreciate you giving me the honor of connecting with your family. Thank you so much. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a break. And I know recently in the news we heard about our veterans in France and how they stopped a terrorist attack. Do you remember hearing that news? Didn't we get an overwhelming sense of honor and we were proud because of how brave our veterans are? Well, did you know that there are many veterans in our country today that need our support and need our love, whether it be physical, a thank you, or maybe even financial, or even volunteering? You've heard of the American Legions around you. Well, there is a way that you could help, and I would love it if you can listen to this short announcement on how you can get involved in helping our veterans.
The American Legion honors our newest generation of warriors and veterans.
Please join us in supporting and recognizing their unique contributions and needs.
The unemployment rate among veterans is unacceptably high.
They are a proven commodity and they deserve a chance to get back to work after serving their country.
Hire them. Today, more than ever before, women are on the front lines of America's defense.
They deserve to be recognized for their service as guardians of freedom and to receive the best treatment and care we can provide.
Let's not forget our wounded warriors and their families as they return home. We cannot allow them to be forgotten and left to fend for themselves.
They deserve more.
And let's honor the families who sacrifice so much every day.
As a service member serves,
so does the family.
Please join with the American Legion to find out how you can truly honor America's newest generation of veterans. Go to legion.org/honor-veterans to find out more.
And welcome back. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I hope you enjoyed that first reading. The other side is amazing in how they come through, and I really appreciate it when folks come up and share their story. And I feel very blessed to be able to be in a volunteer of camera people and producers that are doing this as a volunteer basis to bring this important work about how mediumship and understanding energy can shift and change your life. So I want to just take a moment to thank them in their volunteerism and how they help, and I'm very appreciative of it. So in the time that we have left, I want the opportunity to talk to you and help you in some way, because there are so many things that are out there today when it comes to the work of psychic mediumship. And I get a lot of emails. People call me or email me and they say things like, Angelina, if I go to a psychic and they tell me to put 3 candles in the freezer and spin around 3 times and think of this person as not in my life anymore, will I not be cursed? The answer is that's baloney. So don't ever give, say, a psychic money or anything that would involve removing curses or bad energy. The idea of a psychic was someone that deals with somebody's life is to help you feel empowered about the energy and the self-help you have within you. The role of a medium is to contact the other side and give someone hope that their loved ones are still with them. So if you have a specific question for me, or if you have a story that you'd like to share and have an answer here, I would love it if you can email me at info@angelinadiana.com, because I'd like to share some more of these stories and kind of dispel some of the things that are out there. Because I have to say, I probably spend about 40% of the work I do trying to help people not be fearful, or kind of do like a course correction of maybe where an underdeveloped medium or psychic or a shyster has taken somebody to a level of fear or anger or disappointment during a reading. And I really feel my job as a psychic medium is to give the power back to you. We are all empowered to be very psychic in our own lives. And we are all empowered to be able to connect to the other side on our own. You do not need a medium to do that. And so part of my job when I read someone, and that's what I'm hopeful this show will do, is make people aware that if they can tune themselves out of the physical world, which is a hard thing to do, and connect to the energy around them, you can be more empowered to say, okay, I'm going to go into that office today and I'm going to see my path and I'm going to carve it out for myself and I'm going to get that promotion. Or I know I'm going to get that promotion by spring. What do I need to do to keep that energy going in my life versus, oh, I'm hitting the alarm clock, I'm in the drudgery of my life, I'm going to go there and Sally Joe next to me is going to make me feel really lousy about my life. I mean, how many times do we already preset our day? How many of you have preset your day before you've even had it? Clap your hands if that's true. Yeah, so you tend to preset your day and it hasn't even happened yet. But imagine if you can step back a little bit, which you can, and clear any past things in your mind that have happened to you at work, let's use that example, and start going from that loving spiritual place of what you want to see happen, and you fill up your mind with that. And then what will happen is you'll start having radar towards the things and the feelings of what will work for you to get you that next step. What we tend to do, our mind tends to have radar for the people or the things that will hurt us, because that's how the brain is focused, right? Gee, I won't touch that hot stove so my finger won't burn again. Or I won't talk to Sally Joe because she has a bad attitude and she's going to talk bad to me about the boss or whatever it may be, right? So we have to start presetting our day on what we want it to be, and then our psychic nature will be attracted to the things that will make it happen and detract from the things that don't feel good. If you allow your mind to be connected to the things that feel bad, you're not only going to attract bad, that's all you're going to see. And then you're going to bring yourself down to a very low level. And what does that create? You've heard of mind noise? Mind noise is really the devil of our spirit. If we have mind noise up there, it's so cluttered. Mind noise is, oh no, I'm not going to get the job. Oh no, I'm not going to find Mr. or Mrs. Right. Oh no, I'm not going to get the raise. Mind noise clutters our mind so much that we cannot attract the things that we'd like to attract. So I'd like you to try every morning to get up, set your mind to what you want positively in your life, and allow the rest to wash away. You'll be able to attract what you'd like in your life. I hope that helps you. Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for tuning in. I really would love you to be a part of this program, so if you can go to info@angelinadiana.com, share your experiences. I'd love to see you in this chair, or I'd love to share your experience on the show. I want to thank you so much for joining me for a new day with psychic medium Angelina Diana, and remember, your loved ones are only a heartbeat away. Have a good day.